Hundreds of stranded students have safely returned to their hometowns after being stranded in Manila and Cebu, while more OFWs and workers are asking help from the government after being stranded in other areas. Cyril Chavez of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao has the details live. Cyril?
Yes, Caitlin, the community quarantine imposed around the country posed problems in the transport of stranded individuals to their respective areas. But thanks to the efforts of local government units, some stranded individuals were able to return home. With the help of the Cagayan de Oro City LGU, at least 111 individuals who were stranded in Cebu and Manila during the enhanced community quarantine were able to return home safely. These repatriated individuals still needs to undergo a mandatory 14-day quarantine before they can go home to their families.
Through our IMT and our PNP personnel nga tuwa dito sa atong mga checkpoints in the borders, sila po nagpahigayon sa pag-screen kung naabay mga from other places nga moabot diri sa Cagayan de Oro, and to ensure that these persons or these individuals are physically fit pag-abot nila diri sa Cagayan de Oro.
Meanwhile, Task Force Sagip North Cotabato has facilitated the return to the province of 40 students who were stranded in General Santos City for 2 months during the community quarantine.
All expense paid po, including yung atin pong pamasahe sa aeroplano ay sino-shoulder po natin. Pinapakain po natin at chine-check up pagdating sa border.
Meanwhile, at least 540 students of Marawi State University who were stranded in Marawi City and Iligan City for 2 months have also been brought home to their respective areas through the Sundo Estudyante Balik Caraga program of the LTFRB Region 13. 22 buses shuttle these students back to Caraga region. With the extension of the ECQ in Mandaue City, 150 construction workers from Manila whose work stopped after a commercial building closed down were forced to remain in their bunkhouse. They are seeking help from the government for their food supply since they were not included in the SAP distribution.
Di bali ko sana kung taga dito kami, siyempre may makuutangan ng mga kamag-anak, ay kung dayo ka talaga mahirap. Yun ang pinaka-hirap doon sa na-extend na-extend itong ECQ na to.
Meanwhile, 200 OFWs who are locked down in Saudi Arabia are asking the Philippine government for help. The work contracts of these OFWs ended but were not able to go home because of the coronavirus pandemic. Marites Tejano from Minglanilla, Cebu, said her daughter Thessalonica is one of those stranded in Saudi Arabia. Marites fears for the health condition of her daughter.
Company, muhatag lang og pagkaon sa ilaha. Dili makahatag sa tanan jud as in na 200 ka buok na ara sa kapingatos. Lisod silang pagkaon for the couple of months. Antod jud karon lisod silang pagkaon.
Meanwhile, 110 Ilonggos stranded in Palawan finally arrived in Iloilo City Thursday morning with the help of various LGUs. 70% of them are tourists who visited Palawan but were not able to go home after travel restrictions were imposed. Others are Ilonggos working in Palawan who choose to return home since the establishments where they work closed down due to the community quarantine. The stranded Ilonggos will undergo mandatory 14-day quarantine. Next week, another set of stranded Ilonggos from Boracay and Puerto Princesa, Palawan, are set to return to Iloilo. 11 stranded OFWs from Metro Manila arrived in ABRA this week. Some of them underwent a rapid test with negative results. From Tangadan Quarantine Control Point, they were escorted to their respective municipalities. They are now in the municipal isolation units for the 14-day quarantine and another rapid test.
Masaya naman sir kasi mahirap naman buhay stranded sa Maynila sir.
At least.
Puro gastos.
Oo.
Kaya
Hanggang sana sir? Hanggang sana pupunta?
sa Japan po sir.
Japan. Kailan sana yung flight mo?
April to sir.
April.
Pero cancel.
Caitlin, various LGUs all over the country are now continuing its efforts to pick up and send home their stranded residents. Caitlin.
Thank you, Cyril Chavez of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao.